Hello, everybody. Global warming skeptic here. I said I wouldn't do it. I meant that I wouldn't do it. I tried my damnedest not to do it. But you know what? There's just only so much of an event that can happen before you gotta retract on that commitment. And that is reporting on the Young Turks again, and oh my god. Now, you can look up this video. There's also one circulating on Facebook, and I believe even Alex Jones, if you can find a copy of that, has another perspective. Excuse me. A lot of these have better audio than others, but here's the gist of it. I'm not going to play the video, but I'm just going to tell you what happened. You can watch the video for yourself. In fact, I'll try to link to the best version I can find that makes all the audio clear. Now, what happened was Alex Jones goes on the set of the Young Turks, which is being held at the RNC convention. They converted a parking garage to, I guess, a media alley of sorts, where a number of different personalities were running shows. The Young Turks was one, Alex Jones was another. And Alex Jones walks onto the set, greets the Young Turks, and soon things get out of control, especially once you have Roger Stone stating comments and a lot of spectators coming onto the set. Um, what ends up happening is you see Alex Jones and Cenk Uygur nearly come to blows over a Saudi Arabia issue. And let's go over some of the contesting points. First of all, um, was Alex Jones welcome onto the set? And the first part of that is, was he invited on? There's no way of telling because there's no audio of anybody inviting him on, nor video of somebody signaling or stating off a microphone, because it didn't happen on microphone, but it could have happened off, that he is welcome. But it's interesting because if you watch the thing, it's Alex Jones. He's walking pretty confident. There's no hesitation on his part, which leads me to believe that perhaps he was invited on. That's not a good standard of proof, but it is what it is. Um, and I believe that at least could lead some credibility to the fact that he could have been invited on. But whether or not he was invited on, I think something else needs to be looked at, and that is Cenk Uygur's response. Now, Cenk Uygur was a little bit hesitant because it was an ambush, but what's interesting is he never told him to leave the set, and things could have stopped right there had Cenk Uygur have told Alex Jones to leave the set. But there was very likely a thing of pride there, like, we don't want to look like we're limiting someone's free speech, don't want to listen to controversial views, even though that is the case with him, but we won't go into that. But that's probably why, but for whatever reason you want to attribute to it, the fact is Cenk Uygur was hesitantly welcoming, like almost like he knew it was going to turn out bad, but he did not want to flat deny Alex Jones. But then Alex Jones gives the Bill Clinton rape T-shirt with the like the Obama-like thing where it says "hope" at the bottom, and it shows Barack Obama's discolored face. But this one has the Bill Clinton face and it has rape under it, so it's the same kind of artsy style. Cenk folds it up where it's not visible, and then Alex Jones points it out, and then Cenk Uygur starts calling it a despicable act. I don't know. It's I don't know if you can really even could attribute any kind of motive behind it. He's offered a shirt and he folded up the shirt, and it's just I don't know. But that's where the conflict started nonetheless. And you have Roger Stone and Cenk Uygur getting into an exchange. I didn't hear what Roger Stone had to say. I didn't even hear. I couldn't even really tell a lot of what was being talked about. But they got into an exchange, and then other spectators were coming. Hey, Alex Jones, some kind of Alex Jones fan from the media, I presume, comes onto the stage, and then it just things start getting really out of control. Then I guess a producer comes, tries to get Alex Jones to leave, and then Alex Jones is listening, and then you see Anna Kasparian, co-host of the Young Turks, get up and says, "Get the fuck off the stage, fat ass." End quote. And then you get a bunch of stirred up stuff. Alex Jones starts talking to Anna and calls her Jihadi Jane, and then says the Young Turks are Saudi Arabia apologists, and that's where Cenk Uygur rips off his earpiece, gets up into Alex Jones' face, and starts screaming like nothing else. Now, what's interesting is that Cenk Uygur claims to talk about Saudi Arabia a lot, when you seldom hear him talk about Saudi Arabia. You'll hear a little bit to counteract the his claims about Christian terrorism, saying, I disagree with all terrorism, but he won't really point out the specific acts. He won't point out, for example, that Saudi Arabia, admittedly declassified, helped to finance 9/11. That's declassified information. Saudi Arabia did help, and will you see that covered on the Young Turks? No, but you won't see a lot of things covered on the Young Turks. It's not just Saudi Arabia. But the point is, Cenk's reaction to it. It's just defensive, angry, obviously not just pent up frustration from Alex Jones, because Alex Jones saying something like that isn't going to set somebody off. What this is, people, is a continuous build-up of anger and frustration on Cenk's part from people who point these things out to him. It is a continuous build-up of enragement. Enragement largely, it's a combination of things. Number one, Alex Jones is 100%, or I'll say 90% right, because they don't completely ignore Saudi Arabia, but they overlook the extreme jihadists. And anytime an attack happens, there's always some kind of excuse, always some kind of deflection, always something to not talk about the problem. Um, and of course, you got leftists funded by Al Jazeera, which is a leftist organization, very far left, may I add. Funded Current TV, funded Al Gore, who was once the head of Current TV. Um, and so you just have this build up. This combined with his personal feelings of the politics between Turkey and the Middle East, Turkey, the United States, Turkey's own internal politics between their radical Muslim side and their pro European side. It's just, to me, it shows that, but it just, he's not a rational person. And I don't even say that out of spite for Cenk, because I've just tried to mentally stay out of it. But when things get shared with me, it's difficult to stay away from it. It's like, how do you not address this in some way, this outburst? And But so it's like I said, I don't say this out of spite, but from a neutral perspective, Cenk Uygur is not a rational person. He is a bully. He is a physical bully if it's allowed. You saw that during, and he's a mental bully too. You saw the mental aspect during the D'Souza debate, and you saw a lot of it during the Ann Coulter debate, and you just see it in general. He gets very physically imposing, and he will scream and he will stomp his feet. And but what I love too is that once he saw that he wasn't going to back Alex Jones off, because even Alex Jones was a little bit surprised. Like, you know, once Cenk threw his earpiece down, stood up, got in his face, he was like, "Really, this guy wants to fight me?" And then you see, when Alex Jones wasn't going to be backed off, and he started prodding the finger in his face. You saw Young Turk staff get between the two. You saw people standing, trying to obstruct any view of the confrontation, and you saw Cenk Uygur backing off. Yeah, he's still screaming, but he was the one backing off. Alex Jones did not back off, and then Cenk tells everybody to leave the stage. So, what can we get from all of this? It's not anything. You could look at, for example, Cenk on a plane, where, that was a famous hashtag a couple months ago, I believe, where Cenk Uygur was scheduled to be on a flight that was delayed for 4 hours or so, and screamed about there not being a plane, not being a plane, not being a pilot, not being a crew. You know, I'm not going to get into that again. You can watch. There's plenty of content on that, but the point is his reaction. You can look at that reaction that he had to that event, and it's just he is a bully. He's not a rational person. He does not believe in diplomatic means of getting people. And the last thing you really hear him say of relevance is he cares for the American people. I don't even know where to start with that, to be honest. But, I've got dozens of videos here up for educational purposes, and they will remain up. But there's probably not going to be many more because it's like I said before, I've attempted to move on. But there's lots of videos. There's videos from Atheism is Unstoppable. There's videos from all kinds of different people, small, medium, large channels, and they're all will tell you this guy does not care for the American people. What Cenk is about is the progressive agenda and achieving those goals through any means necessary. He's not interested in how folks like you and I are. But anyhow, that's the video, folks. Thanks for listening. Leave a comment if you're interested, and God bless you guys.